There are stories you hear on the internet, and then there are stories that happen too close to home. This one happened to me last week, and I haven't slept properly since. If you're watching this at night, you might want to keep one light on. You know how people always say your house is supposed to be the safest place in the world? Well, I used to believe that too, until last week when something entered my home. Something I still don't have an explanation for. I don't know what it was. A person? An entity? A mistake in the dark? But I know one thing. It knew I was alone. It knew my routines, and it was patient. Dead, silent, patient. It was last Thursday night, around 1:40 a.m. I remember the exact time because I was sitting on the couch, scrolling my phone, trying to wind down after a long day. Everything was normal, quiet, predictable. Then something small, something subtle, went wrong. The hallway light flickered just once, not enough to scare you, just enough for your brain to say, "Huh, that was weird." I brushed it off. Old bulb, maybe. Bad switch. But then, from the back of the house, I heard it. A soft, deliberate click. Not a random house noise. Not pipes. Not settling wood. This was the sound of a door latch being opened. Inside my home. At 1:40 in the morning. My entire body froze, like my nerves were being pulled tight. I thought maybe I imagined it, until I heard the next part. Footsteps. Slow. One at a time. That was when I put my phone down and listened. The footsteps weren't heavy. They weren't rushed. They were careful, measured, like whoever or whatever was walking didn't want to be heard. My hallway is long, so the sound traveled in this eerie rhythm. Step, pause, step, pause, step. Like it was waiting between each footfall, listening to see if I would react. I didn't move, not even an inch. I just sat there, staring toward the dark hallway, heart pounding so loud I thought it might expose me. At this point, I had two possibilities. Someone broke into my house, or this was not a person. And honestly, I wasn't sure which one I preferred. The steps reached the end of the hallway, right where the darkness began. I should have grabbed something. I should have called someone, but all I could do was whisper to myself, "Is someone in my house?" And then, just as suddenly as they started, the footsteps stopped. Right outside the kitchen entrance. Out of sight, out of reach. Silence. Not peaceful silence. The kind that sits on your chest and tells you you're not alone right now. I leaned forward slightly, just a bit, and that was when I heard it. "Hi." A whisper, thin, dragging, like someone speaking through a smile they shouldn't have. My blood turned to ice. Someone was in my house, and they were whispering to me. I didn't respond, couldn't. Then the whisper came again, louder this time. "I see you." I jumped off the couch, knocking my phone to the floor. My instinct kicked in, fight or flight. I backed up to the front door, hands shaking so badly I could barely twist the lock. My plan was simple: get out, run to a neighbor, call the police. But as soon as I unlocked the door, there was a noise, not from the hallway, not from the kitchen. It came from directly behind me. A breath, warm, slow, wet, right on the back of my neck. I turned so fast I stumbled into the shoe rack, but there was nothing there. Nothing. The hallway was dark. The kitchen was dark. Everything was exactly the same. That made it so much worse. I ran outside, left the door wide open, and didn't stop until I reached the house across the street. I called the police. I waited. My neighbor waited with me. And when the officers finally searched my home, they found nothing. No sign of forced entry, no footprints inside, no fingerprints anywhere except mine. They told me it was probably a dream, a half-sleep episode, stress. I knew they were wrong. When the police left, I finally walked back into my house. Everything was quiet now. Still, almost too still. I picked up my phone from the floor, and that's when I noticed something that made my stomach drop. The screen was cracked. Not from the fall. The fall was too soft for that. But from pressure, like someone had stepped on it, hard. The shoe print was faint, but visible, too small to be mine, too narrow, too sharp at the heel. I live alone. Before I had time to process it, I noticed something else. My bedroom door was open. I never leave it open, ever. I crept toward the bedroom, each step slower than the last. And right before I reached the doorframe, I smelled something. A scent I will never forget. Rotting breath, mixed with damp dirt, and something sweet, like spoiled fruit. Someone had been in that room recently. I stepped inside. Everything looked normal at first glance, but then I saw my closet door. It was slightly open, not wide, not obvious, but just enough for someone inside to see through the crack. My throat tightened. My eyes started watering, not from fear, but from the overwhelming smell coming from the closet. That same rotten, damp odor. I walked closer, slowly, and right before I touched the door handle, the closet clicked, like someone pulling their hand away from the inside latch. I stumbled backward and ran for the door, but halfway across the room, the closet creaked open, by itself, just an inch, just enough to show nothing but darkness inside. But I swear on everything, I saw something shift in that darkness. Not a person, not an animal, something too tall, too thin, too still, watching me. I ran out of the house again. I didn't sleep there for 3 days. And when I finally returned with a family member, the smell was gone. The footsteps never came back. The closet was empty. But here's the part I haven't told anyone yet. When we checked the backyard, my relative found a trail of footprints near the window behind my bedroom. They weren't shaped like normal shoes. They were long, narrow, and the heel was pointed, like someone or something had been standing at that window for a long time, watching, waiting. This happened last week. I don't know if it's coming back. I don't know if it ever left. But every night now, around 1:40 a.m., I hear something. Not footsteps, not whispers, just breathing right outside my bedroom door. And whatever it is, it knows I'm awake. This actually happened in my house last week.